Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to TMMI Test Foundation 2026. I hope you're having good number of sessions. My name is Sukirt. I work as a QA at International Lyle, Illinois. Uh, and for our first session in track one, we have Mr. Prathap Raghavan with us. Thank you so much, Prathap. Uh, Let me give you a quick introduction about Pratap. So, Pratap is an accomplished IT leader with over 21 years of experience in enterprise software development, test automation, and product lifecycle management. He oversees end to end product strategy, roadmap planning, stakeholder engagement, and delivery alignment across multiple digital platforms. He collaborates closely with cross functional teams to translate business objectives into actionable technology solutions, prioritizing features, managing releases, and ensuring measurable value in all the deliveries. Pratap is recognized as a strategic technology leader specializing in intelligent automation, GenAI integration, and enterprise scale quality engineering. He also possesses deep hands on experience in leveraging GenAI in a combination with Playwright MCP to create adaptive self-healing test scripts. Um, he has also implemented modular RPA frameworks using UiPath, enabling business processes automation across mission-critical enterprise systems. His solutions incorporate exception-aware, data-driven workflows, seamless CI/CD integration, and orchestrated bot deployments as well. They significantly increase release velocity and reduce optional overheading. In addition to this, he also develops AI-driven chatbots that deliver human-like conversational experiences by integrating NLP and machine learning technologies. Pratap also brings a strong expertise in the IBM integration bus, a service-oriented architecture, and various enterprise integration methodologies, complemented by a solid experience with Java and J2EE. Wow! So it's an honor to have you here, and the stage
Yeah.
is all yours.
Hey, thank you, Shakir. Thank you for the good introduction. Today I'm going to talk about intelligent automation framework. I was previously working on Cognizant. I have a total of 21 plus years of experience in IT industry, both testing, development, and product management and all those stuff. So today I'm going to talk about intelligent automation framework with GenAI. So in this topic, so let's start with a few agendas which I want to discuss about is like automation framework evaluation and next gen automation framework, plugin based architecture, scaling test intelligent and intelligent CI/CD and strategic metrics. Okay. So when we talk about automation framework evaluation, right? Okay. So when I started this automation, right? So around maybe 2004 or 5, I think so. I started with Windrunner. I don't know how many of you know about it. Windrunner, then comes QTP and UFT. Then comes framework-driven automation, like open source tools with Selenium, with the TestNG, JUnit, Maven, Jenkins. So these are all process with automations. Like it helps automation. Okay, TestNG is a framework where we have test methods, and the JUnit helps with the Java coding, and NUnit for .NET coding and all those stuff. It helps. And now comes it's AI era, right? So we have to think about how AI works on each software development plus testing.
Prathap,
So,
can you make it in a wide share mode?
oh,
Thank
okay.
you.
I want to run some automation to scripts, so that's why I kept it in that mode actually. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know.
I if you can download a local copy, it might show up better. I think it is coming out of a SharePoint site.
Yeah, correct. But yeah, it used to work like yeah. Now you are able to see this.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay. So now comes the AI era. See, now even development testing, every deployment, it happens through AI. So we are going to talk about how AI supports in automation testing. So when we talk about AI testing, right? So it's all depends upon how you prompt to the AI, right? Like how you give the English instructions to the AI, and so that it will respond according to your requests. Okay, that's how AI talks, right? Because see, before going to that, why automation? Automation, right? So it is beneficial for um, like for regression suite. Okay, predominantly in testing area, most of them use for regression. I think it helps for test data automation and other aspects also, like RPA helps for some repeatable automation processes. If it's needed, it helps there. But predominantly, this automation, whatever we are doing, is used for regression suites, right? For every major and minor releases, we are running it. Let me say this, okay? Like if you are new to a product and if a tester comes into the product, right? For first time to execute it, he or she will be enthusiastic to run that automate test, okay, manually. Let's say I'm giving the same product, I'm giving some 50 test cases for you to run after 100th time. Okay, let's say 100th time you're running the same test. It is a monotonous job and it is a boring work, right? So that's how this automation comes into picture. And so I talked about the script based automation, framework driven, and then now comes AI era. So AI is very way advanced that it will create the scripts by itself once you give the instructions, right? That's how AI plays an important role. Like it will identify the objects by itself, and it creates the automation scripts by itself, right? Earlier, to identify the object itself, like it takes most of the objects is simple only, but some at least 25 to 30% of the scripting portion, right? My understanding, it is very difficult to identify the objects. Okay, you need to identify the correct XPath, and you need to find out what is the XPath of the object, and then you need to, even if you give the correct XPath, sometime it will take time to get that correct properties, and then take to run the scripts. Okay, but this AI, right, it helps to identify the object and create the scripts according to according to your framework. Okay, that's the one benefit over this AI platforms, right? So coming to my topic, what I'm going to talk about is this next gen automation framework. I know pretty much everybody knows that there's a Playwright MCP with Copilot and Allure reporting. Okay, so when we talk about prior to this, right? Like most of them would have been used Selenium as an open source tool for automation. Now comes a Node.js library where this Playwright is a Node.js library which supports web browsers predominantly. But there are other tools where yeah, for a desktop and all, I think it doesn't support. Okay, but for one of mostly it was supposed for web browser. So Selenium was one of the strong tool, and I go with Playwright, which is the latest. Which is a way faster than Selenium. That's how I see this. Okay, because Selenium is also good enough, but Playwright is better than Selenium in some faster recognition and those stuff. So talking to MCP. Okay, I think. Okay. So MCP is something nothing but it's talks to the AI models, to tools or databases. Okay. So That's how this MCP comes into model. It's a model context protocol, which is used for to talk to the AI tools through some data sources through APIs or commands. Okay, that's how we use MCP model. And GitHub Copilot, I know everybody knows that it's one of the best LLM I can say, because every architecture talk to GitHub Copilot because it has a huge code repository. Okay, so this helps to get the code whatever recommend you give, right? This GitHub Copilot helps to uh, get the code according to your requirement. Okay, so why we are integrating Copilot with the Playwright is that Playwright is supports automation, right? It's identify the object properties and then run it out. So GitHub is something like you can standardize your coding for running the automation scripts. Okay, so when we integrate GitHub Copilot with the Playwright, that's how the automation script is. That is through the MCP model. Okay, that is what the integration happens. Okay, Playwright integrates with GitHub through MCP, and this Allure reporting is nothing but like earlier. I think Selenium, you know, guys, right? Mostly they use extent reporting. I mean, some teams uses the um, customizable HTML reports and all those stuff. Okay, but recently I think a Playwright comes up with the Allure reporting, which is a kind of open source framework to get the Allure reports. Okay, so with this framework, I think rest and all is the framework driven. I know you guys know, right? You need to have a driver script and data sheet, which is Excel sheet. And addition to this, you can use this Playwright with the MCP and GitHub code. There are many license tools are there, AI tools. I know pretty much. I know Devin is one thing, and Code AI. Most of the AI tools are there. I'm going with the open source tool, which is very simple for you to. But GitHub Copilot, I think there are pro versions are there, which you can use it for if you want to have a better coverages and all those stuff. GitHub Copilot Pro version helps you on it. Okay, let me show you one demo how this architecture works. Okay, um, so I have integrated everything in this tool. It's I'm using Visual Studio Code, where I integrated with the Playwright MCP with the Copilot. I think Copilot is in the right side. The instructions which you are passing to the Copilot. I think this is a Visual Studio Code with the Playwright tool has been, I mean, Playwright code Node.js has been installed here. I think you need to do some of the setups to this to run this automation. Okay, the basic prerequisite to it, where you need to integrate the Playwright integrated with the Copilot through MCP, and then whatever instruction you give, it will run. Okay, so let me run the automation script which I created here, and then I can give one more steps to this, and then I will give the instructions first, and to run I ran this top script earlier where I gave the username as an invalid one, and it got run here, and then it got created the scripts here with the invalid test cases here, where it passes when it's incorrect password, invalid user. It was showing a error message with the username is invalid. Okay, this is how you do the validation, right? So when it comes with the invalid password, I'm just giving this instruction to run to ask GitHub to run. Let's see how it works actually. So it started created the scripts. So it started creating the scripts. You see this? It automatically added a script here, and then now when I run it out, it will run.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, Pratap, but I don't think the your VS Code screen is like visible.
Oh, okay. I thought it's
Yeah, you're just sharing the screen. Yeah.
okay. Okay, one second. I'm sharing entire screen actually.
Yeah, yeah, it's visible now. Perfect.
So I think earlier, I think it got created with the invalid specification. I think it already created the invalid password also. Okay. So I don't know. I think the screen got added here. So it ran in the background actually. So that's why we are not able to see that. Um, so I gave some seconds to see the screen. That's why it is waiting for it. So now it got executed actually. So if I want to give some other test model, like if you want to give me some other data field, I can give the some other data field. Okay, so instead of incorrect password, let me give dummy password. So it got updated here. See, it got updated with the dummy. But this is just a dummy. Okay, if you want to create with the framework, you will be giving in an Excel sheet. But I just gave it to create how whether it is creating or not. Okay, it got created here. And now if you want to run it out, it will run. Okay. So I gave dummy password here and it got created. Okay. So the point is that what I'm trying to say is that I'm just giving the instruction to the copilot and it got created and it ran the test and then it is showing the test results that it is passing or not. Okay. That's how the real automation works, right? So this is how we are validating it, and you will say that you will save that to the reporting so that if someone is validated, someone sees that issue in the production, they can check in the reporting side and say that okay, this was validated during this release. I don't know what has happened in the production. So that's why we are capturing to the reporting side, right? So that's one benefit with this automation. I think most of the automation framework has that reporting side. Okay. So so the main purpose of this is that the scripting portion. Okay, so if it's in manually, if automation engineer tries to identify the object, right, it will take more time. Whereas the AI, right, it helps to identify the object property, and it will try to identify it and it will create the scripts for you. That's the main advantage of it. But there are some certain areas what I can say that AI also has some hiccups or some cons are there, like hallucination. Okay, there is a concept called hallucination. Okay, sometimes what happens is that your script, you might give some steps, but AI tries to identify it and it may not be able to identify it, or it doesn't understand your requirement, what you are looking for. That kind of situation, obviously, automation engineer has to pitch into that area and then create the scripts. And other good part is the self-healing. Okay, sometimes some I think this has happened to GitHub Copilot also, where if some objects are not recognizable, okay, in the first flow, what will happen is that AI try to identify it in the second steps. Okay, and not to the GitHub Copilot. I have seen license tools support that. Okay, like it will try to identify it in different ways. Like first, it will try to give some property and check whether the object is identified. If that doesn't work, it will narrow down the property values and then identify the property, and then it will fix the script, and then it will run automatically. That's something I see that in one of the license tool. Okay, so a license tool has more advantages, whereas GitHub Copilot, if you go for a pro version or advanced version, it has more advantages. Okay, rather than open source. Okay, so why pro or advanced version has that capability is that because it has more. I mean, obviously licensed has that features, right? Advanced self-healing mechanisms and all those stuff. Okay, so that's the main advantage of AI automation. Okay, so when it comes to next point is that as I was talking about the self-healing mechanism, right? I don't know. Okay. Okay. As I was talking about the self-healing mechanism, see, normally if you are using open source tool, right, you can create self-healing selector plugin as a in the, within your framework. Okay, so but for this, I think you need to have that AA plugin within your framework, and it will call that like how you build the API architecture, right? Like request and response. Same thing happens here also, where you need to connect through OpenAI API with the LLM for self-healing mechanism architecture. And once you run it out, it will have an issue. If any issue happens, it will call that self-healing selector plugin, and then it will fix that object property, and then it will run in a second flow. So that is the main advantage of self-healing mechanism with the plugin based architecture. This I tried it out in my previous project, but this is something which is helpful for you. But the main advantage is that it will run in a uh, it will be very difficult sometime to if the object properties are very difficult. Okay, the properties are straightforward means it will identify it, but sometimes if it is like the background the background objects are not that easy to identify due to some advanced features within the application. Those things that it is very difficult to identify it. Okay, even current applications also you see this, but this is similar to how you do that plugin based. Okay, like how you call API request and response. That's how this works. Like a microservices. Okay, you need to build in that way, and then it works like this. Okay. So coming to the next point is the scaling test intelligent. Okay. So I know you guys know about vector database. Vector database is nothing but it stores the information as a store numerical embedding vectors. Okay, it doesn't instead of storing as a plain text. Okay, but this why we brought it up here is that see you most of them used to store the test cases in TFS and Jira or ALM or etc. Right? So we map those test cases to this vector database. What is the main advantage is that there are few advantages where it will help you out. I can show you in the next slide. And comes the next thing is the retrieval augmented. Retrieval augmented is the it's advanced like it will get the inputs based on your input. Okay, like like advanced means whenever you update the data right to the database, it will update it and it will get the data according to your input. Okay, so that is where retrieval augmented generation RAG comes into picture. Okay, so as I was telling that, right, intelligent test case generation, these are all the few factors why we are going with the vector stores and RAG. Okay, so when we talk about intelligent test case generation, right, so let's say you are writing some test cases and some future has been added. So now what you can do is that what intelligent test case generation will do, right? Based on your requirement, it will update the test cases and it will give new kind of test cases to your old test cases based on your updated requirement. Okay, so that is why we are going with the intelligent. You don't need to do anything. It will automatically AI will take care of all these things. Okay, but these are all in the futuristic, but it's possible. That's how I see this right now. I'm working on something called a vector db with predictive defect analysis, but these are also possible with intelligent test case generation and impact analysis and regression testing. Okay, so So when it comes to regression testing, I know regression testing when it comes is that whenever any changes happens to your test cases, then you can identify those impacts and then create the test cases, right? So that can be reducing the testing scope by 40%, okay, and abandoned redundancy. So this is helpful for identifying the regression test cases and AI powered test failure diagnosis. Okay, so in so this will help for the test failure diagnosis. Okay, if any issue happens, right, it will identify whether it is really a big issue or something is a minor issue. So those things has been identified by this. It's a older defect or new defect. If it's a previous defect, because you are connecting everything to a vector database, and if some new issue happens, you can it AI will identify based on your old defects. Okay, so that is the main advantage of test failure diagnosis. Okay, and test documentation and knowledge retrieval, obviously, right, you're using RAG. So RAG is kind of updating your data models or data input, whatever you integrate with a Jira tool with a vector db. So obviously if you need any old data documents, you can fetch it from here, or any new data for the project you also can get from the knowledge retrieval. Okay, and comes the intelligent CI/CD pipeline. So now everybody goes with the CI/CD pipeline for testing and deployment, right? So when you continuously do the testing, and if something passes or fails, AA can make a decision whether the test case got failed during deployment is high defect, or is it a kind of a low severe defect. Okay, because developers do multiple deployments. Okay, if you put everything to CI/CD pipeline, right, what happens is that if some minor issue happens, the deployment get failed. Okay, then developer get pissed off, right? Obviously, because they deploy multiple deployments, and for simple issues, if some issue is some deployments getting failure, then they will ask for a QA to check it out. So in that manner, the AI should decide in such a way that it has to segregate based on the deployments, right? If is it a big issue, or it's not a major issue. So I mean, it's a minor issue. So based on that, it has to decide and then tell it. And test execution. Okay, let's say you are putting some deployment where some feature has been added. So it has to select the test cases based on your feature. Okay, for CI/CD pipeline. So unwantedly, if you are running some 20 to 30 test cases to CI/CD pipeline, if it's needed only 5 selected test cases, you can go ahead with using the smart test selection. And same failure handling. Okay, failure handling, as I was telling, right, it auto classifies the failures. Okay, is a flaky or a product or test bug, it will identify, and then it will allocate to the correct person who has to handle it. Okay, so those helps for CI/CD pipeline. I can it helps AI helps on it, and comes the final thing is the strategic metrics. Okay, so it's a Gartner report. Okay, but yeah, so obviously, right, automation helps in test case creation and reduction also. Defect detection is faster, and it leads to customer satisfaction. Obviously, right. I mean, why the tester needs to be in the product in the project? Okay, obviously he has to find the defects. Okay, if he couldn't find the defect, there is no use of having testers, right? That's how I see. Okay, even if it's a requirement or anything, shift left method or shift right method, anything. For my understanding, tester should be able to understand the requirement thoroughly and then find the defects ahead of time. Okay, so I think AA before AA, I think this is how Gartner report says that, like, if it's AI generated test cases can be created, the design time reduced by 70%. Okay, so and deployment is faster and maintenance is also faster because AI has that capability to keep all the repository by himself, and it can identify each and everything, like, yeah, insight. It has more insight on what happens within the code, right? So that's how I see this. Like, and to my knowledge, ROA is best for AI, but investment to a corporate company, I think it's huge currently. Okay, down the line, I don't know, but right now for AI to invest in any company or project, it is high amount. Okay, because it's a new technology, new things has to be invested, so it's a huge cost. But you need to bring up to the or to bring to say ROA. I think you need to see how beneficial to implement ROA powered automation to the products. Okay, because it has to be, like, at least it has to have some 50 to 60 releases. Okay, I don't say, at least it has to be used for long term products. Okay, not for only one cycle or two cycles. If you use for I don't think that does for you. Okay, so think on all the aspects and then build AI powered automations to your product. Okay, so I did POC earlier with the normal license tools like QTP, UFT, and all this. So we have certain criteria, right? ROA, mainly they talk focus on ROA. Okay, what is the return of investment when you invest on tools? Okay, so without building up the ROA, and if you are investing on AI, I don't think that is helpful for any company. Okay, so yeah, that's all. Any question, guys? Thank you for this opportunity. Any questions?
Yeah, I mean there are a few questions. I think uh
So Keith, we
one
are
okay.
done with the time.
Okay.
Um, uh, Attendees, please reach out to Pratap with any of the questions you have on his LinkedIn. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.